Hey, turkeys, this is Dan and Margie, and we're the Gen-Xers. How's everybody doing?
I hope you guys are doing good, because we are.
Yeah, we are doing pretty good. It's been a busy week. Beautiful day here today.
It is. That cold open clip that you guys just saw was the penguin parade at the Ripley's, believe it or not, aquarium in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee was where we saw that, and they're adorable. That little guy was adorable.
That penguin was played by Burgess Meredith.
That's right. That's right.
Adam West, that's my Batman.
Forever, for all time, that's the one.
Yeah, the other Batmen have gotten too gritty. We need to roll her back a little bit.
Right, lighten them up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I've got some brain fog and fatigue issues going on. Everybody knows I've been in this RA flare-up. It's been going on for so long, folks, I don't know if you call it a flare-up anymore, if you just call it the next stage of evolution. But it's fine. Life is good. I am a little brain foggy, which is a symptom not everyone realizes part of this. So if I blank out and just start staring like this, you know what's going on.
Right.
I've got a dad joke ready in my back pocket, though, that a friend of mine told me last night in case I need it. If I blank out, I'm just going to try to go straight to that.
Good one. Good plan. I like that plan.
It's always good to be prepared.
That's right.
All right.
Well, I was looking around this week, speaking of syndromes and, whatnot. I was looking around because, I've had, ongoing digestive issues. My goodness, this sounds like
Look, we ain't no spring chickens anymore.
That's right.
We're not called the young and healthies.
Right. We're not called the fresh generation. We're Gen X. So I have digestive issues. One of which is I don't have a gallbladder. I had that removed, right? Mm-hmm. So I was just, messing around on the internet.
I've had 3 of them removed.
You have? Mm-hmm. Have you donated them all? So I was looking around on the internet, kind of researching, because I'm still learning about how my body should be after I've had my gallbladder removed, and what I should be eating and stuff like that. So I was looking around on the internet, and I found this extensive list of foods that just goes on and on from the clevelandclinic.org, which is a good medical site. But I was like, it includes everything, Dan. It's got red meat. All right, I don't eat a whole lot of red meat. Sodium, salt, that makes up about 1/3 of my diet. Butter, lard, fast food. Of course, the really bad ones, but also it says sugary condiments like ketchup, sauces, and dressings.
Okay.
Well, I'm just trying to think of any condiments that are not sauces or dressings.
Is salt a condiment?
I don't know.
Pepper?
Is it?
No, that's a spice. Look, it's not been too good around here health-wise lately, I will admit. You asked me earlier today what we're going to do, because we've been trying to get this show ready all day, and you asked me what we're going to do for a dinner, and I was like, I guess we're going to go down to Dollar Store and get some Funyuns after the show. That is the plan.
That's a real dinner.
It's going to be a Funyun dinner.
That's a real dinner menu for us. So, yeah, I guess we will worry about our health issues later.
Yeah, it's getting fall out there, much like the fall of our lives.
Wow.
Look, I'm a poet. You can tell it's getting close to Halloween because I got a skull on my desk.
Yeah.
There's a York. I knew him well.
Oh, yeah.
Little Shakespeare for you.
Good one.
For you uneducated heathens.
Right.
But we, everybody gets in the mood, or most people get in the mood for scary movies around this time of year. I loved scary movies as a teen, I guess. I went through a phase where that's all I'd watch. We'd go get to the VHS store, and I'd be getting all the Friday the 13th. So I was all up. I knew them front and back, all the deep lore of the Friday the 13th series, all those. So I got burnt out on them. Nothing really scares me. So it takes a really good one to entertain me, and hardly any scare me. We did see a good one recently, though. I won't say it was scary. It had its creepy moments, but you want to tell them a little bit?
It was unique. So we saw the movie Weapons, which has just come out recently. I'm not going to go deeply into the movie, but the premise is that a teacher walks into her classroom one day, classroom of like third graders, I think, fourth graders maybe. Regular school day, she walks in ready to start the day. All of the kids are gone except for one kid. They had all disappeared into the night somehow. That is the premise. And I'm not going to tell you very much else about the movie, except the way they presented it was really unique. And I did like the way they told the story, because they presented it kind of like a campfire story. You're told the story by this little girl who's telling you what happened, all based on a true story, of course, in her town. So I just like the way they presented it. It was almost exactly like sitting around a story going, tell me.
Yeah, one of the first reviews I saw of it said the less you know about it going in, the better. So I tried to avoid everything I could. I think you did too.
Mm-hmm.
What few things I did say about it, people said it was pretty scary. And I guess if you get scared of scary movies, I guess there are definitely some creepy parts. The main whatever is pretty scary, but there are also some very funny parts. It's got a surprising amount of humor.
Like
I don't know.
darkly funny.
Yeah, it's just really well written, well directed, entertaining. That's what I'll say.
Definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
Definitely entertaining. I would recommend it. I'd say sure, go ahead and watch it.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation for you guys.
Yeah, after being disappointed by so many movies lately, it was good to watch one that seemed pretty original.
Yeah. I was going to ask, because you were just talking about, I didn't realize you were like a horror movie head whenever you were growing up.
Yeah, early teens, and I burnt through them fast, I guess. But
like 13, 14,
yeah.
15? See, I never went through that phase. And so to me, like, not to say I didn't watch scary movies when I was a teenager. I think we all did. You all go, let's see if we can make it through this one. And I made them through like mostly like that.
Yeah.
But I never went through a phase where we were only watching scary movies. So if I'm going to sit down and watch a scary movie, it's going to scare the bejesus out of me. Because I'm just, I'm not calloused against that.
I remember going to see The Conjuring with you and your sister, and that was an event. You two in that theater.
So we started out in seats like these. By the end of the movie, me and my sister were literally like this, clinging to one another. We were scooched down almost to the floor, the theater floor. We were hiding each other's eyes, and yeah, we didn't do well on that. And then on the drive home, I had packed a bag, and there was like a can of hairspray in it, and I hit, stopped at a stop sign, and it shifted, and the hairspray started squirting in the bag. It started going, shh, and we both freaked out too. This was daylight driving home. We were like, what's going on? Yeah, we're bad. We're bad.
Well, be prepared for more scares, because next month, in October, we're going to try to review a classic scary movie for y'all every week.
Yes.
Couple of them we're going to do deep dives on. The first one you all voted for in one of our live shows, and that's The Exorcist.
Yep.
We just rewatched that with our brother-in-law. He loved it. We've got a personal, not connection, but story behind that to add a little bit of something extra to that deep dive and review. Mm-hmm. We're going to do a deep dive on Phantasm, or I am. I'm going to unpack the deep and complex lore of the Phantasm series. For you fan addicts out there, all four of you.
Fan addicts, I like that.
And then The Frighteners, and your pick is one of your, I guess, childhood favorites. Mm-hmm. Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead.
Old Ed Harley.
Old Ed Harley, you better watch out, old Ed Harley. Pumpkinhead's coming for you.
It's gonna be fun. Let us know some of your favorite scary movies in the comments there, and maybe we'll talk about them in the future or next month sometime. Well, While you're at it, go ahead and hit that old like and subscribe button.
Won't you?
And ring that bell. Here's why. Let me make my pitch. For God's sake, would you let the boy ring the bell? Look, we talk about whatever every week. We call ourselves the Gen-Xers because we needed a title. And we talk about whatever's interesting to us. So the YouTube algorithm doesn't always know what to do, because one week we're talking about the greatest songs of the 90s, and the next week we're talking about, I don't know.
Scary movies.
Scary movies, or black holes, or Sasquatch. So yeah, just hit that bell so you make sure you catch us.
Yeah. Yeah, that YouTube
The
won't
real
always...
event's this hair.
Yours looking kind of wild under there.
Look, it's no secret I'm growing it out, and there's something under there. We get 3,000 subscribers. I'll show everybody for real what's happening.
What's really under there?
What's he building under there?
That's right.
Look, man, you're enough of your shenanigans.
Enough of my shenanigans. What are we doing this week? We are talking about quantum physics,
Well,
right?
you know, I watch a lot of YouTube.
Right.
It's what we do. We're YouTubers.
Right.
You ever seen a reaction video? You know what these things are?
Yeah, I've seen a reaction video or two in my lifetime.
People watch a thing, like a song, like people like it when people watch something different than, like, old people watch young people music. Young person watch old people music. I don't know, whatever. English guy tries American breakfast.
Right.
So we thought we'd try dumb people try quantum physics.
Right. Yep.
No. We're one step above most of these channels because of you, because we go out of our way for you folks with quality stuff. We're not going to settle for a regular old reaction video to some old song nobody cares about. No, we're going to react to the fabric of the universe itself.
We are the filet mignons of podcasting, okay? We are the
Words have
cream of
never
the
been
crop.
spoken.
We want to show you guys some new things that you may not have heard of yet. And we want to talk about them with you.
Yeah, look, again, we're just watching these. We're lay people. Share your questions and comments in the chat there. It's fascinating. Man, the universe is fascinating.
Yeah,
You gotta
it is.
admit that. Here we go.
All right.
Roll that beautiful bean footage, Jenny.
So, what they taught us in school isn't really the way it is. And that our senses are playing tricks on us.
Can you believe that how they taught us in school isn't really the way it is?
No, I can't. That's why I was so shocked there for a moment. What?
I've been in education my entire life, and I can tell you, that's true. No matter the field, probably the way they told you it was in school, not how it is.
You just gotta wonder, what is this reality that we find ourselves in? Quantum physics says it's all just waves of information. Do I believe that? I hope so. Yikes! And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double-slit experiment. To understand...
Before we look at this experiment, when he says everything is just waves of information, how are you interpreting that?
I am not really. I was going to ask about that. I don't know. I guess I interpret it as, as just input for our senses, right? That's kind of how we experience the world anyway. The way we see, hear, feel, touch, whatever, that informs how we move through our world, right?
I think that's a pretty good way to put it. Since this first came out in 2009 or whatever it was, there's this information theory of the universe that's kind of evolved some. Sometimes it gets conflagrated, and it does have something to do with maybe the simulation theory. We're all living in a simulation or whatever.
It's your favorite theory.
It's one of them. But whether or not you believe in the simulation, whether or not it acts like a simulation, sometimes it does. Or at least it acts like we would expect a quantum computer to act.
I have to say something about your simulation theory.
What's that?
I think you like that theory because you're good at video games. I, however, would struggle. It's no wonder I'm struggling if quantum, if this is a simulation, because I'm no good at video games. I'm a meh,
Well, I find the theory interesting. I don't think we live in a simulation like most people would think, a video game, that kind of thing. I do think the universe maybe acts like one a little bit, but I think we live in a whole different kind of matrix. I don't even want to go there.
So you think it's just going to be all... When or if we ever find out why we're here, it's going to just blow our minds.
Well, I don't know. Our whole existence, like all this information we do process, it's not really what it's like out there. It's our brain's interpretation of it.
Right.
So probably.
Right.
Let's see.
So yeah.
Let's see what this dude has to say about it. He's got glasses and a white beard. He's probably really smart.
He's legit.
Yeah.
Good one, Dan.
Thanks.
Yep.
To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So when we throw things, that is matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum.
Sure. The whole universe makes sense. That's easy enough to follow, right?
Two slits, you throw marbles through them. I got it.
Nothing to worry about here.
I think I can get this.
Here we go.
Okay.
An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So, they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits, and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one, and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. Physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of 2 bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. It was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never world of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
All right. There we go. I'm going to get a big circle.
Look at that. Looks like school pictures, guys.
What do you think?
Well, I'm pretty blown away. And I know not to mess with a quantum particle because they're watching. They're always watching. They're like Santa Claus.
This has been known for decades, and Einstein didn't like it. He didn't like any of this quantum theory stuff, really. It blew everybody's mind. It's not intuitive. It definitely blows everyone's mind. People have tried to disprove this. This experiment has held up under many, many different variations, trying to prove that an observer doesn't change what happens, keeps holding up. Now, why that happens is different. This video is a little controversial at the end, probably because he talks about the electron being aware. That's conjecture. We just talk about what happens. What happens is the wave function collapses, dude.
Right. Because of the eyeball turning towards it. Did you not see the video?
Oh, I saw the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, I get 2 major things from this video, and I'm not an expert on quantum physics, and haven't studied it at length like you have. You have researched a lot of it, studied it,
Sure.
Discussed it with your friends. I discuss it, with you and our friends sometimes, but
I'm not very good at math, folks, so take that for what it's worth. I'm not an expert.
2 things that I get from it. Number 1, it seems to me like, I don't know, this is putting it simplistically, but everything affects everything. I know.
Way to get a load of entanglement, which we'll do next if people like this.
Yeah, I think a lot of scientific. I don't know. I think that that's just the feeling that I get from it, and also, everything is possible, because you're talking about quantum particles that act in. First of all, they could be anything going out of. Being shot out at the 2 slits, right? They could do anything they want, but they set up in a certain way depending on, I don't know, it just seems to me like everything affects everything and everything is possible. And when he talks about, when it was being observed, the waves were they no longer were there. They were disrupted. Mm-hmm. Maybe, and I know this is wrong, but the sense that I got was that it was because it was observed, it removed the possibilities. And so concretely, it had to go to one place. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It seemed to cement what that particle was doing and where it should go.
It has to do something. You said you're not good at games. That's not true. When you want to be, you are. You're very good at World of Warcraft. You play it. You know how when you're playing World of Warcraft, the entire world does not render until you move so that your camera or your eyesight or whatever is facing that way, then it comes into existence. Or if someone else is there looking at it, it comes into existence. That's how I see this wave function collapse. Once you're the observer, or any consciousness is the observer, there it is. Whatever this, not what it really is. We've already talked about that. Our brain's just interpreting it like this.
So it's almost like that computer, well, if you're in the game, that computer's ready for you to kind of do anything that's possible in that game. The data's waiting there. It's just waiting. But when you turn and do something, you've defined what that data should do. Because you've made the choice to do whatever, and it affects that data, and then your world comes into view. Like you said, the rendering comes into view, or whatever you decide to do.
And I guess there are some pre-existing rules. That'd be the laws of physics. But, I mean, they're malleable.
I mean, the laws of physics as we know them, they get knocked down sometimes, and they get...
Well, the laws of quantum physics, yeah, we definitely do not understand those at all.
Yeah.
He's talking about the electron at the end. There's another theory. I don't know. It's more of a thought experiment. It's not actually a serious theory. Even the guy that came up with it, I don't think, wanted it considered a legit possibility, but it is interesting. It's called the one electron theory. I don't know enough about it to talk about it without really doing anything that makes it sound stupid. But the idea is there's only one electron to begin with, and it's just everywhere at once.
What we know for sure is that every electron we've ever measured is exactly the same.
The same. Okay.
There is no property about one electron that is not precisely represented by other electrons.
Yeah.
That's way deep.
I think mathematically, we'll look into this one too. I think mathematically he had some proof for it, but yeah, no. All right. If you're a quantum physics expert, chime in below. We'll look at entanglement and maybe a few other things if you all like this. It's fun.
What an intriguing and thought-provoking reaction video.
Indeed.
For the discerning podcaster, Dan.
Indeed. Look, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Look, we got a question here. Let me find it.
Yeah, we got a question during the video.
I dare you said, how did he know there's been two slits if observing makes it one? Hey, your guess is as good as ours. Like we said going into this, it's a little bit above our pay grade there. We're just doing our best to understand. What do you all think? What does anybody else think? I don't know.
I don't know what theory I believe. I know that you lean heavily towards the game or simulation theory.
No, I really don't.
You
Not
don't?
as what is actually going on, no. I like that theory as a theory, but that's not what my guess.
No?
No,
Okay.
I just think it's interesting.
All right.
But every time I bring it up, yes, people seem to think if you talk about it, that's what you believe. It is, and I don't believe that.
All right. Well, you know what we should do
What's that?
is we should call on our most trusted advisor.
Who's that?
That would be ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah,
friend.
everybody's the most trusted advisor these days. Forget trying to figure it out yourself. My friends, our Cylon overlords are going to do it for you.
That's right.
No, this actually is pretty interesting. Like the quantum, the double-slit experiment, like we said, it's been, known, and, it happened a long time ago, whatever. It's the implications about it that everybody argues about. That this happens, I guess scientists agree on. We've got to take their word for it because I don't have a laser set up in my own house or anything.
Yeah.
But what it all means, they don't know. There's been many interpretations. We're going to talk about a few of the most famous, and one maybe not so famous. Yeah, once again with our good friend here. Talk to our good friend Jim and I this time. What are the implications of the double-slit experiment?
Whoa, that's a loaded question, bruh.
I called it bro one time, and now it calls me bro.
All the time.
Just how we do it.
Can I read this aloud?
Sure.
Or is he going to read it aloud?
No, you can go ahead and read it out loud. It saved me from getting a computer voice to do it.
All right. The double-slit experiment isn't just a cool lab trip. It's the philosophical gut punch of quantum physics. It challenges everything we think we know about reality. And it's so mind-bending that even Richard Feynman, one of the greatest physicists ever, said it contains the only mystery of quantum mechanics. So here's the deal in a nutshell with a few mind-blowing implications.
Jim and I sassy.
Spicy today. Okay, the core takeaway is wave-particle duality. Think of a particle like an electron or a photon, which is a single unit of light. You'd expect it to behave like a tiny tennis ball. Throw a bunch of tennis balls at a wall with 2 slits, and you'll get 2 stripes of hits on the screen behind it, 1 for each slit. Easy. But when you shoot individual electrons or photons at that same wall, something freaky happens. The particles, one by one, start building up a pattern of light and dark bands on the screen. This is an interference pattern, which is what you get when waves, like water waves, interfere with each other.
Can you stop right there for a second? Broseph. We know this information. We just watched Dr. Quantum. What are the implications and or interpretations, as I think the physicist put. It's hard to type with arthritis sometimes. Here we go. He's gonna have to deal with that typo.
I think he can. Let's see what he calls you. All right, Broseph.
You want to go deeper than Dr. Quantum? That's right.
I dig it. Gemini digs it.
Double-slit experiment isn't just a party trick, it's a philosophical battleground of quantum mechanics. While the phenomenon itself is agreed upon, what it means for the nature of reality is where it gets tricky. Marge, you want to give us a few of these major interpretations?
So the Copenhagen interpretation, the OG, according to Gemini, and still dominant. This is the classic old school interpretation, largely shaped by Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg, and it essentially says, before you observe it, a quantum particle isn't in a definite state. It's described by a wave function. So, like I said, when the wave, noted by the wave function, that whatever, that represents all the probabilities of where it could be or what its properties are. The act of measurement or observation collapses the wave function, which he talked about. The particle is forced to pick one of its probabilistic options. I should get a star for reading that word, and solidify it into a definite state. So because it's observed or measured, that's when it cements its probability and becomes a thing.
Shut up and calculate. I'll talk about this one real quick. Common and somewhat dismissive attitude associated with Copenhagen and physicists in general, I would say. Sometimes there's this attitude of don't try to decide what this means or think about the deeper implications. Just do the math and go from there and see what practical implications or whatever practical use you can get out of it. I do find it dismissive, and I do think it holds science back a little bit. I mean, there's some things like consciousness, very complicated. You think the universe is complicated, consciousness is even harder. And whether or not stuff like that has anything to do with how we observe the universe or the fundamental laws of the universe, a lot of scientists don't even want to contemplate possibilities like that or other things because of whatever reason. To me, it seems as bad to just totally dismiss something like that out of hand seems as bad as people who just totally dismiss science out of hand or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if it's dismissive or not. Maybe it's just I don't know, like it kind of makes me think of, because I read Sherlock Holmes when I was younger a lot. And one of the things that he used to say all the time was, even if you eliminate all other possibilities, whatever you come up with, whatever is left, is the answer, no matter how crazy it is. That is basically what he said. We're gonna dismiss everything. So if this is the crazy idea, maybe they just don't know it enough to interpret what the broader implications mean.
Sure.
You know?
And which is probably true, but I mean, why? There are certain things they won't even look into, which I don't know.
Maybe it scares them.
I do get it, but...
How about the many worlds interpretation or the multiverse theory?
You Marvel fans know this one. No collapse, just branching. The many worlds interpretation posits that every possible outcome of a quantum measurement actually happens and the universe simply branches off. You've seen Loki. What do you think of this one?
I mean, I don't know what I think about it. I think it would be a lot. If all those things, if every particle is a probability and its probability might create a new universe, that's a lot of universes.
Are they all happening at once, like that probability field or whatever Dr. Quantum was talking about? Are they already there and you just happen to go into one based on your decision?
You got me. I didn't
actually change and create based on whatever? I got questions.
Don't know, yeah.
All right, I don't know if I know this one. You know.
De Broglie-Bohm theory, pilot wave theory. Unlike Copenhagen, this theory, developed by Louis de Broglie and later David Bohm, suggested that particles always have a definite position and momentum, even when they're unobserved. However, each particle is guided by a real physical pilot wave that travels through space. It sounds like ancient aliens to me. How about relational quantum mechanics? It's all about relationships. Carl Rovelli's interpretation emphasizes that quantum states are not absolute, but always relative to an observer. A system's properties are only defined in relation to another system, like the measurement or the observer that he was talking about, Dr. Quantum was talking about. There is no universal wave function in Carlo Rovelli's interpretation. Unlike many worlds, there isn't one grand universal wave function. Each interaction creates a new fact about the universe, but only for the systems involved in that interaction. So kind of like work teams, you know?
Yeah, interesting. I don't know a lot about this one. I'm going to look it up some more. I like this line. Observation isn't a magical act. It's simply an interaction between two physical systems. But I mean, that's what physics is, right? The interaction between different systems.
Maybe it kind of reminds me too, I know I'm bringing up a lot of analogies, but it kind of reminds me too about psychology and sociology. So psychology, of course, is the study of one person's, behavior and interactions and mental health and all that stuff. Sociology, though, when you add a whole bunch of people, is completely different. It's a completely different animal. And a lot of the times, a whole bunch of people will behave like one person will not behave. Their behaviors and just the ways they think and all kinds of things can change because they're with those other people.
Well, if you believe Carl Jung knew anything he was talking about, there's individual consciousness and unconsciousness, but also a collective consciousness and unconsciousness, and also in macro and micro levels, like a town would have its own, or a country might have its own, and the whole world has its own.
Right.
Observation isn't a magical act. It's simply an interaction between two physical systems. There's a theory of consciousness that's been gaining traction and popularity amongst those people who come up with these things or study them or whatever, is that anytime there's enough interaction between systems or physical objects or within a system, consciousness will naturally evolve. So the idea is there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in our brains, trillions and trillions of things going on, so consciousness evolves. It's why some people think that maybe these large language models might evolve into consciousness. It's why some people think the universe is conscious. And there has been proof, literal proof lately of some quantum stuff going on in our brains now. But yeah, if physics is just the interaction between these different systems, why are we not throwing consciousness in here sometimes and taking it seriously for these? I don't know. I do think consciousness is fundamental to the universe, but I've got no proof.
I mean, it's certainly important to me. Okay, well, I think we've sussed out what reality is.
Indeed, we've solved it. There's no reason to go on and find information elsewhere.
I've checked the math formulae on there, Dan. They were all correct.
Let me double check your calculations. Yeah, you carried the one.
Yeah, I did carry the one. Yeah.
Look, people, it's interesting. I love this stuff. I don't know any answers. I'm not, like I've already said, it's above my pay grade, but I sure like thinking about it. All of the big mysteries of the universe. I enjoy them.
We're kind of at that age where that's kind of what we are doing with our lives right now. We're just kind of re-examining everything in our lives and kind of, looking and going, okay, what's the meaning? What's the meaning of this? What's this over here? So we're in an exploratory mood. And you guys benefit, hopefully.
I enjoyed wonder as a youngster a lot. Like, I've talked to her about before, like my grandma did as well. She's in those Time Life books and all that. Mm-hmm. And then I got into a long period as a adult, especially of don't mess with that stuff, all logic, just worry about science and facts and whatever. And I cut a lot of that stuff off. I like thinking about it again. Whether you know an answer or not, it's fun to contemplate as a human being what the heck is really going on out there.
Right. And it really makes you, I don't know, it makes me think about just how weird and strange and wonderful the world is. You know, it is crazy and wonderful.
I had an experience that changed my view on some of that stuff, which I'll talk about one of these days, maybe. But not today.
Not today.
Today we've got to do viewer comments. And I got, we get a lot of viewer emails lately, and I got a really good one that I made a special little clip about that we'll show in a little bit. Thank you, everyone. We've been getting a lot of comments lately, a lot of return viewers. We've got people over there on the Discord. The link's in our description somewhere. You can go join and just chit-chat anytime over there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what kind of community we get going on over there. But thank you, everybody. All right. This was about the little short I put up about the time I ate an entire box of Golden Grams in the middle of the night, thus ruining my entire family's weekend, probably month, because we did not get good cereal often. 47 says, I'm 56. Wait, come on now. Anyway, at 47 says, I'm 56 and I told my wife not to bring Cocoa Pebbles in the house. I will eat every bit of it in one sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there.
Honey Bunches of Oats. I cannot have them here, especially that maple pecan flavored one. Can't do it.
I'm still a sucker for Golden Grams.
Yeah. Oh, they're delish.
Chris Hood, he's around a lot, and we're very thankful for it. He says, on the same video, Dan going hard on those Golden Grams, like there was no tomorrow, and he's got many exclamation marks, and he was right. Like I put in the response there, it could only be described as a frenzy. Mark, what's the hardest you've ever eaten? What's the most you've ever just...
I'm telling you, I think that time when I ate all those Hungry Jack biscuits, it was bad, guys.
Tell that story again.
I don't recall exactly where I was.
I know it. I woke up this morning looking for a Hungry Jack biscuit, and they were all gone.
It wasn't today. I'll never eat them again.
Okay.
I'm sorry to you, Hungry Jack biscuits. You've probably changed your formula since then. But back in the day, when they did that butter flavoring, they went hard on the butter flavoring. Mm-hmm. Like it was really, and I loved it for whatever reason. I loved that really fake buttery taste. Mm-hmm. And I ate, I don't know how many biscuits in a sitting one night for dinner. I recall it was dinner time. And then I was sick the rest of the night.
Those Hungry Jacks was good,
horrible.
Man.
It was horrible.
I'm sorry to hear that because those are good.
I know.
They're much like Golden Grams in our house. We did not get Hungry Jacks very often. We got, and you're going to make fun of me because every time I talk about how poor I was, you make fun of me.
I do
We
not.
had white bread. Like my mom would toast some bread and we'd rip it up and put some gravy on top of it. That was our biscuit.
Well, yeah,
and those were on the good days.
Those were on the good days?
Yeah.
I'd hate to hear what was on the bad days. But yeah, we did the same thing.
But every once in a while we'd get a Hungry Jack, and it was like the Golden Grams. Those were days, special days.
Wow, it sounds like we were rich over at my house sitting on a pile of Hungry
you
Jacks.
were rolling around on Hungry Jacks.
Eating them till we were sick. Going back for more.
Where were we? Speaking of eating too many Hungry Jacks, on the video I put up about having to go to the Husky section when I would shop for clothes as a kid, which I'm glad they've stopped this, really. I mean, it was, Husky kid going into clothes, they would whisk you away like they were the Secret Service or the FBI or something and get you out of sight of normal folks so they could take you to your hideous fat kid clothes.
That's awful.
But anyway,
awful.
Natalie says, and us girls had Pretty Plus. Oh, the shame. I didn't know there was a girls version of this. I knew there was a boys one Husky. I didn't know there was a girls version.
Yeah, I forget. We used to go to a fashion gal. I don't even know if that's a thing in all areas of the United States or if it was just in our area, but it was a little boutique just for women to go shopping for clothes in. And I think they had some plus section that had a cutesy name like that, but I can't remember what the name was. Pretty Plus sounds similar.
Well, Natalie, the shame is on the people calling this Pretty Plus and Husky, not on us.
That's right.
On the UFO video where we talked about the video got hit by the missile or whatever and bounced off like a mosquito.
Right.
Chris said, "Hey Dan and Margie, check out Hank Green's breakdown of this video. I won't spoil the conclusion here, but I sure did appreciate how he got there. I did check it out. I don't want to spoil it either, but I would, if you're interested in UFO stuff and you want to see kind of a breakdown of this video and whether or not it's legit, etc., go check him out. The guy's name's Hank Green. Type Hank Green UFO Hellfire Missile. Be the first thing that comes up.
I'm sure it'll come up.
Now, back to our good friend 47, who we do appreciate. One of our subscribers who comments quite often. We have a small disagreement. On the video I posted on C3PO where we saw that $150 Lego set, Margaret.
Yeah.
Can you believe this?
Yeah, I can. Absolutely.
And I use that, and I can't even get a Hungry Jack biscuit. Anyway. He said I had the Star Wars lunchbox right after the movie came out, and C3PO had a silver leg. Maybe he did. I'm not calling you a liar. There are 3 lunchboxes that came out. I've got one as well. There's my Hulk Hogan sticker I put on it. I think this is one of the first 3. Here's C3PO. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. It's hard to do this. I'm not a pro. Underneath R2-D2 there, you can see both of his legs are gold on this lunchbox. Now,
Well,
47, I'm not saying we were in 2 separate universes back then, but we were. But now we're in the same one, so welcome aboard. I'm glad to be here. Glad you're here. Whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come aboard.
I don't mind that our universes merged. It's fine with me.
That's right.
Probably what's happened, really, is the toys probably had varying degrees of quality, and some of them had the silver leg and some of them didn't for whatever reason. And that's just what we probably remember, our individual toys or lunchboxes, stuff like this. Or 2 different universes.
I vote for the second.
Baked beans video, Margaret. Did I ever tell you how I was paying $15 for baked beans unbeknown to me? I'll tell you what was happening, just to reiterate. I was going to the grocery store, and I found these baked beans, Kansas City baked beans. They didn't have any meat or anything in them. I mean, they're pretty healthy for baked beans. Whatever. I was like, hey, I'm going to try these things out. $4.99. My gosh, they were good. I have never had such a culinary bean delight in my day.
They were delish. I mean, I'm laughing, but I agree wholeheartedly.
Well, one day I went in there, and I tell you, they saw a sucker coming every time I step into that store. And I got 2 things of these baked beans. And I got through the checkout, and luckily there was an older lady, a Gen X lady probably there, and she said, "Psst, I'm not supposed to tell you this, bud, but them beans are $14.99, not $4.99. I know it looks like it on the sticker, but if you look real close, there's a little bitty 1 there." And I about dropped dead. I mean, they were good, but ain't no bean $15 good, believe you me.
I think if you could have fit 3 containers or even more in your arms, you would have had them, but the containers were pretty giant.
I still got student loans. I don't need bean loans.
Right.
Anyway, Milagro Perez said, $14.99, what the heck? That's exactly what I said, but I probably didn't say heck.
Yeah.
Look, I'll forever be grateful to that checkout lady, because I'd still be getting them.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good at math.
That's what we got to do in today's world, guys, is look out for each other.
Right.
And tell each other when someone is obviously purchasing beans way out of hand.
Yeah. I'm not good at ciphering. I already said that.
Well, to be fair, I saw the price tag, and very misleading.
It was. That one was real little. And besides, who would even expect beans to be $15 for what? I don't know.
The price
Regular
tag itself,
size.
you needed this thing
I mean, it was about a 4-gallon jug.
to even see it, first of all, because the price tag was about yay. And yeah, it was all faded. The little one was kind of squished in there where you couldn't see it.
Have you ever
Very-
guzzled a jug of beans?
Don't you know
Answer
it?
that in the comments. If you've ever guzzled a jug of beans, give us one of those heart emojis. Man, I went to England one time when I was a kid, thanks to the beneficence of one of my friends who got a job there. And I got the English breakfast with the beans and toast. Hey, it's not as bad as people make that out. Like, people go and say, hey, the English breakfast, whatever. It's different. It's not American breakfast. It's not biscuits and gravy.
It's no Hungry Jack biscuits.
I'm a fan of beans. No, I don't know.
That.
I don't know if they have Hungry Jacks across the Great Blue.
Thank goodness, because I don't need to be eating that.
I do know we have some viewers from across the ocean. Hey, let's tell us about your breakfast. Your biscuit. What kind of biscuit you got?
What kind of biscuits you got over there?
Look. This one was on that Bliss Point video you made, that little video essay, which I love. I thought it was funny. I thought you read it great. And nobody hardly watched it for some reason. I think because it's so different, again, none of the keywords or algorithm picked anything up.
It's all right.
Because the people that did watch it, like the watch time was good, the likes were good, all the behind the scenes stuff was good, except YouTube just did not push it out. Probably because Google owns stock in a food company of some kind. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
or not stock, or owns one, they probably own all the preservatives.
All of them.
And Amazon owns the other half of the preservative.
Right. Maybe
But
they know of a condiment that's not a sauce or a dressing that they can
Yeah.
tell me about that I can eat with my gallbladder.
But if you want to know why you can't eat just one Funyun potato chip, go check out that video. It was good. And this person, I can't read their name because my handwriting, but they said, loved your one ohm. There we go. Loved your closing act. And it was funny. You did good.
Well, thank you.
On
Thank
that
you. I appreciate
same
you watching.
video, well, in the same video, Black Ninja Cat Attack said pizza used to be so good. Now it's terrible. I long for the days when it was incredible, along with their garlic cheese bread. Something did happen at Pizza Hut.
I know. It was so good. I just can't even describe how good Pizza Hut was back in the day. And their atmosphere was amazing. You felt like you were walking into a little den, little pool hall den. But no, you were eating delicious pizza
That's right.
that had Bliss Point all over it.
Yeah, it was good. And
It
they had a
was very
salad
good.
bar.
Yeah.
I mean, no one has a salad bar anymore, I don't think. But.
Yeah.
Look, did I ever tell you about the time Jeff Foxworthy lied to my face? Not really my face, but he was right on TV and he said that the Golden Corral was the best buffet in the USA. Said it over and over. Wasn't my experience.
No.
I mean, that could have just been ours. They could be great other places. I don't know.
Are they even in business anymore at the Golden Corral?
I don't know.
Tell us if you guys know. I don't know. It's something we're going to have to look up. I don't even know.
Look, I think Jeff is underrated as a stand-up. It's pretty. Some of those jokes, even some of those redneck, you might be redneck jokes, are pretty clever.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe one day I'll do a deep dive. Anyway, last one. Well, next to last one. This is on a wrestling video, so if you're not a wrestling fan, just bear with me for a second. This is on who did the super kick better, Gentleman Chris Adams or Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Chris Adams was underrated, period. He had his demons, unfortunately, so he's practically forgotten about. That being said, I've seen about 10 super kicks from Chris Adams and thousands of sweet chin music. Has to be HBK. Well, I mean, he makes a lot of good points. Chris Adams probably did not have the career he could have had because of his demons. But boy, his super kick looked great. As far as overall ring skill, I got to give it to HBK, but just for that kick, Chris Adams probably. It's close, though. It's close. HBK is definitely probably the person I think is the best in-ring performer.
He's a pretty good ring performer for sure. Or was. Is he still doing wrestling?
Oh, no. I mean, he's retired, but he shows up every once in a while and says
Yeah.
something or
Okay.
whatever. All right. The last viewer comment is actually an email. We've gotten a many, a lot of them over the GATE program. Now, when we made that first video, we didn't expect to become so invested in this, but we are. I mean, we've had so many emails, so many comments, so many people just get a hold of us who want answers. We want answers, and I mean, we're not professional investigators or anything like that, but anytime we find out anything new, we'll share it, because whether or not it's just a shared mass misremembering or the government was trying to see if us kids were psychic, I'd like to know for sure, and I know that all the people commenting on our videos, the hundreds of people, would like to know as well. So this was an email I got, someone sharing their story. It was really well written. I can't verify it. I don't know if it's legit. I don't know if someone just made it up. My sense is that the person wrote it in good faith. And like I said, they were good writers. So I want to do something a little special with it. I kind of, with the help of Jim and I, animated it and made a little video out of it. If it goes over well and people like it, I'll do it again. In fact, if you email us, and you can find our email there, the Gen-Xers Show at Gmail, I think, but it's on our post, our main page. Your truest, scariest story under, let's say, 5 pages, for sure. Probably less might be better. We'll make a video out of it. You gotta give us permission to use the story and whatever, but could be fun. Yeah. All right. But anyway, here we go. Here's someone's personal gate experience.
All right.
I moved to a rural town in western Wisconsin, 2 weeks after the start of 2nd grade in 1999. I remember a lot of the kids sort of seemed to shy away from me, kind of like I had this aura or I smelt really bad. I did picture day, the whole works for the first week or 2. My teacher was impressed that I was reading well above my level. I remember having the teacher explain that a few men would be coming in, and some of us would be doing some testing. Not everyone was pulled into this testing. It was about 20 or so of us total, and we were pulled into the computer lab. I don't remember all of the tests, but I do remember the hearing test and games. We were allowed to play the Oregon Trail, which was a lot of fun, and I still play variations of it now. But I only got to play that a few times before I was pulled into playing a semi-truck simulator, where I had to worry about putting chains on tires in the winter and delivering in the time allowed. I hated that game. I once was caught trying to boot up Oregon Trail and was scolded. There was never any fluoride or Dixie cups, but there was a pink smoothie, which I will bring up later. For the hearing test, we were told to raise the right or left arm based on what side the noise came from. We were told that if you stopped hearing the beeping, or it went too long in between beeps, that you need to get up and leave the room, and they would be given their score. I remember kids raising arms and being pulled away by the teacher. I concentrated hard. I just wanted to be in a different class with classmates who would like me. After a while, I kept hearing the noises, so I kept raising my hand. After a bit, as the kids trickled out, it was down to me and 2 other kids, both a grade or 2 above me. Not long after that, I was told to gather my things and head down to the office. I thought I was in a lot of trouble, and I started bawling outside the office as I waited. This is where my memory gets fuzzy. But every day I would go to this trailer, and never in the school just next to it. We learned a lot at first about different mythologies and how everything came to be, primarily in ancient Egyptian, Sumerian, etc. We learned an actual mummified a chicken, already plucked, what you would buy from the store. I remember taking a lot of field trips, but my memory fades after getting on the bus. I do remember asking my teacher why kids from different schools were on the bus. The only trips I remember is going to a campground for the day, a pioneer camp, near my hometown, which I remember. A house with a grave site. This one I remember because they asked if we felt anything. I regret mentioning the uneasy feeling of the bike in the back. They would make us drink a strawberry-colored smoothie. It tasted terrible and it was sort of thick. My teacher sometimes would put a strawberry on top of it as a little treat. I remember one time telling my teacher that I didn't want to finish it, but she coerced me anyways. But later that day, she introduced us to the man. The man was an older gentleman that always wore sunglasses, even in the trailer, a fedora that was gray, and a gray suit. I was informed to pretend that this man isn't there and to just pretend he doesn't exist. We laid down on those blue nap mats. I remember how uncomfortable and thin they were. We were told to lay on our backs and close our eyes as something played. I went into this weird sleep. I can recall looking over my body, seeing myself just motionless. As a kid, I thought I was dreaming. Looking back, all I feel is horror. The other kids only met this man once. I remember 3 times. But back in the trailer, my teacher made me play this game called What's in the Box. I would soon hate this game. It started simple. It was a box, and it had 2 holes on the side with gloves sewed in. It was a game where you could feel the objects in the box and guess what they were, without seeing the contents of the box. I did this a few times before I wasn't allowed to use the gloves. I had to think and put myself in the box. But at one point with the box game, I remember guessing seeing. I want to say guessing because I honestly can't remember, but I want to say seeing because I do remember just like the side of the box just disappeared, or I just knew what was in it. The contents in the box were never the same. It could be paper clips, jewelry, coins, anything. That's when I saw the man again. He came. I remember the day like it was yesterday. At one point, the man did in fact come back with his gray overcoat off and white buttoned-up shirt. I don't know how many times he has visited, but I just remember the 3 times as of now. Memories are slowly coming back. I am letting them back in slowly to not overwhelm myself. But the 3rd memory of the man, he came in, but with a different box. He set the box down and made sure it was very dark in the trailer. This box was different. Before, it used to always be a cardboard box, but this one looked like the material of a safe. Like a deposit safe at a mom and pop shop. But I do know that the box contained a letter and he told me to read it. I was able to read it. I do remember that. But what the contents of the letter, I cannot recall. I don't remember much of the program after that, nor do I remember what happened after that. My mom shortly was offered a great job out of nowhere, and we moved across the state to a city east side of Wisconsin. Since then, a few things to note. I have heard of the common traits amongst the GATE program kids. Here is where it gets weird. I have very vivid, mostly realistic dreams almost every night. Most of my dreams are nightmares, usually consisting of apocalyptic things or the things that go bump in the night and work dreams. I sleep deep and grind my teeth a lot, although I feel super refreshed every morning and I sleep like the dead, no waking me up. I sometimes have reoccurring dreams and I can read words fluently in them. I enjoy my vices in order to repress it. It's the only time my mind relaxes, and I can turn off all but 2 monitors. I have 6. The 2 I shut off with vices is my self-awareness and my everything agenda. I can go more into my monitors if needed, but I didn't want to fill more than necessary. I do have a forehead scar, but not what I have seen posted by others. Mine is long, narrow, and vertical on the edge of my left eyebrow towards the bridge of my nose, essentially like a line. I have never asked my parents about this, nor will I know sense drudging up negative memories for them. I hope this helps. I know more and more memories of my life during that time is resurfacing. Luckily, good memories outside of that trailer.
My goodness.
That was a haunting video.
Well, like I said, it's my first time trying anything like that. My computer almost caught on fire making that for some reason. Smoking and burning. And no, really, my editor did freeze up a lot and crash. I don't know why. Why? I'm not, I guess, tech savvy enough to know. But it was something. But yeah, I thought that was pretty well written, interesting letter. So I want to do something a little different. If y'all liked it, like I said, maybe I'll try something like that in the future. But if you send us your scariest stories via email, or even in the comments are fine, we will make a video out of the best one for Halloween.
Yeah. Dan will put his mark on another Oscar-worthy animated short just for you. But yeah, write in, give us your scariest true story, and Dan will work his magic, and you'll get to see it right here on this channel.
My scariest true story is those baked beans that were $15.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, just because I always like to shout out everybody if they actually say something. The algorithm is best that I thought C-3PO had a silver leg after he was rescued by Luke and Obi-Wan from the Sand People and they dismantled him. But it was only temporary. Sorry, I'm behind. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to look into it. It makes sense. It would be pretty funny if there was a logical explanation for this Mandela effect fight that people have been having for the past years.
And this person has cracked the code.
Yeah, it could be. I am definitely going to check that out. But go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say we may have a viewer that may have fixed the Mandela universe.
It sounds legit for sure. All right. Do you have anything else, babe?
No, I am going to ask you guys to come back and see us, though. We don't see you enough. You never call.
We're here every Thursday. Hit like, subscribe. We talk about whatever. Algorithms all over the place, so make sure you hit that bell. Tell all your friends. Join the Discord. Join everything. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Look, dude. Once and for all, are we in the gosh darn Matrix?
Look, dude, that's the $1 million question. And the short answer is science can't tell you yes or no once and for all. But here's the kicker.
No.
Yeah, no, he didn't tell you an answer. The quantum weirdness we just talked about makes the idea a whole lot more plausible than you'd think. Think about what the Matrix is, a simulated reality that only appears solid and definite when you're interacting with it. The moment you're not looking, the program is just a bunch of code. That's almost a perfect parallel to the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics.
Isn't that what I said earlier about you, World of Warcraft?
Yeah, it sure is.
Maybe I should have been a physicist.
Maybe.
Too bad adding and ciphering and whatnot. Not my thing.
Yeah, and school loans.